This is Ilma Art Studios photograph for today. That's one of the trails, one of the most beautiful trails in Orangeville, which is called Mill Creek Trail, and that was taken in the fall of last year. Hi, how are you today? I'd like to ask you to check my website at ilmaarts.com for some of my photographs and more of my artworks. Today I'd like to share the verse Matthew 13 verse 12, which says, "To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But for those who are not listening, even what little understanding they have will be taken away from them." And here is my poem regarding that. The promise of knowledge. Do you listen to God's teachings? Do you crave to have understanding? To those who listen to His truth, they will be at peace and soothed. Those who do not care for His word, they will be consumed by this world. The little understanding they possess will be taken away, and they will never progress. And that is the end of the poem, and here is the essay part of the devotional. When I led a rebellious life in my 20s, I struggled with almost everything in life. Despite the many possibilities I could have enjoyed, I had never had peace or joy. Even if I was very well read, I never really took the time to consult the only book that will guide my life, the Bible. The Apostle Matthew tells us that God promised an abundance of knowledge to those who listen to His teachings. But as we said earlier, for those who do not listen, the little understanding they have will still be taken away from them. The secret to an abundant life is seeking the Lord's will and truth. Whenever you choose to prioritize God in everything you do, it is amazing how He provides everything you need and gives you more. Prayer. Lord, keep me always hungry for you and your teachings. Reflection. Why does a Christian need to follow the teachings of Jesus? And that is the end of the poem devotional. So I'd just like to expound on that verse. It's actually very, I think everyone should take this warning very seriously. But when you're young, like when I was young, I was consumed by this world, like by the standards of the world, what the dictates are, what is a fad, what will make people accept you, or what will put you up on a higher level of recognition, or all kinds of things. And because I wasn't guided as to the truth and the teachings of the Lord, even if I studied in a school that is religious, it still didn't give me a venue to really understand what the Lord's will is for me. In this verse, it is really scary to think that we will have a lack of everything if we do not listen to God's teaching. And apparently a lot of people take this for granted because they think that knowledge has to do with the knowledge of the world or the knowledge of being a physical being, but we are actually spiritual beings, and that is said in Ephesians that we are dealing with spiritual warfare. We're not just dealing with things that are happening around us, but we're dealing with unseen forces. So for us to be able to be victorious with all these spiritual battles happening inside us or happening around us that we cannot necessarily see because they are unseen forces, but that doesn't mean they're not true. They are real. You know, when you wake up in the morning, deciding what to do, whether to stay in bed or to do something, is already a struggle in itself. And we do not know, but actually the spiritual forces of the negative is trying to pull us down to just stay in bed and be lazy and not do anything. So even little things, we need to be guided, because if we do not know the teachings of God, we do not know the truth, how can we be victorious? You know, the devil will just be, laughing at us and trampling over everything because he knows us. He tries to know everything about us so that he will be able to get us into his trap. And so it is really amazing that this is one of the promises of God to those who want to, seek knowledge. So we end this poem devotional, and I'd like to ask you to check again the website, and I invite you to listen to God's teaching and seek His Word. It is only this last 2 years that I realized how much I have missed because I did not read the guide to life. I would have, it would have been an easier life if I had been guided and if I had listened. So I got blinded by all the things that the world has to offer without knowing that God has the bigger things to offer to us. And He does not just give little, He gives everything in abundance. And so, good night, and thanks for watching, and have a good sleep. God bless.